Hello and welcome. This is Roger Connect with Universal Accounting Center. I'm excited to be here with Scott McKinley. He is our senior marketing coach with Universal Accounting, and for years has been working with our students to help them actually start and build their practices offering accounting type services. So what we're excited to do today is actually have a discussion about the 3 reasons why Forbes magazine says starting an accounting practice is in fact the best thing to do, especially when running a home-based business. And as we have this conversation, I'm sure you'll be having questions as we go. And for those of you who are live with us today, you'll be able to submit those questions in the Q&A section on the page. So we're excited to see what kind of things you'd like to know as we're progressing. If you have questions, just realize that we hope to get to those at the end in a Q&A session. So we're hoping that this is not only just an informative session, but an interactive one as well. Now, as we begin, one of the things that I would encourage you to do is, if you can, have handy a pen and paper to take some notes. I'm sure you're going to be notating a few things that you would like to implement within your own life and practice. And for that reason, we're having this webinar. So to begin, one of the things that I want to do is just quickly point out the purpose of today's webinar is, first of all, to help you recognize why businesses truly do need your accounting services and why they should be services that are proactive. The old days of reactive historical accounting is no longer what's going to be requested and paid for by businesses. And so they need to actually see that you're able to do more to help them make informed business decisions so that they can be more intelligently running their businesses. We're also wanting to discuss the demand for accounting services. I think sometimes we wonder what kind of need really exists in our communities and what it is that we can do to meet those demands. And then the other thing that Scott will be addressing is how you can in fact get started for as little as $100. I think that's just one of the things that you need to recognize is there are so few costs associated with running and operating a successful practice, and that's one of the reasons why Forbes recognizes it as such. The thing that I also want to point out here is that there are 3 things that you always need to remember when marketing your services and getting clients, and so we want to stress those today so that you can know what it is you need to keep at the forefront of your mind as you're marketing and getting clients. The other thing that we want to address is sometimes I think it's not really clear what the true value of a client is. If you're going to go through the efforts of finding and getting a client, really what are they worth, and what is it that you should be realizing as you take on new clients? And then lastly, how in fact can you do this where you're in business for yourself, but not really do it by yourself? There's no reason to do it alone. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to figure out everything from scratch. There is a turnkey process to doing this effectively and profitably. So with that in mind, let me just first of all start with Universal Accounting. And Scott, there's a lot we can share about this. What are some of the things that you'd like to point out as to who Universal Accounting is?
For a lot of people who are just getting into to contact with Universal Accounting, one of the first things that they see is that we're a school.
Yes.
We are a school that offers online continuing professional education. And Universal Accounting has actually been doing this since 1979. We started back in California. We had campuses across North America that were teaching some of the programs that we teach today. Now we're currently based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. And for the last 38 years, we have spent time dedicated to helping individuals get past the hurdles that they struggle with the most when it comes to running their own successful practice, whether that is not quite knowing how to service the client on a monthly basis, whether that's not knowing how to keep the clients coming back, how to get out there and find the clients, which is really one of the areas that people don't realize is going to be so important when they start their business. They think that everything needs to be centered around their education and their training and their designation. But what I've seen in the 11 years that I've worked with Universal Accounting is that all of the training in the world, it doesn't matter. You can have the best designation in the country, but if you don't know how to market, if you don't know how to sell yourself, you will never have the clients that are going to pay you what you need to be making to be successful in this business. So what Universal Accounting does is we fill in those gaps that are missing for people, whether it's the training, whether it's them wanting some designations so they can have confidence and competency, or the lack of accountability that comes from being a small business owner. You know, you said at the beginning that we were going to talk about being in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And I really believe, as one of the coaches here at Universal Accounting, that it's the accountability that we give to the students who we work with that pushes them to that next level. We challenge them, we encourage them, and we give them that direction so they can overcome those limiting beliefs and those fears that we all have that build up in their minds. So Universal Accounting is basically a partner to work with people who want to start their own business and want to be in business for themselves, but need that help.
But one of the things that I think is really quite critical here is, since starting in 1979, we've really perfected a turnkey process to either starting or building a firm. And one of the things that's beautiful is, for those individuals that are wanting to start their practices, the thing that you first and foremost need to have is the confidence and confidence that you brought up a moment ago.
Right.
And I think a lot of people out there, they may have that experience. They've been doing accounting, bookkeeping, tax for 15, 20, 30 years, and they have that experience, but it's now, how do you apply it in a business world where you're acquiring and retaining and taking care of clients? And so that's one of the things that I think is quite unique about some of the training that we provide. Now, with Universal Accounting, one of the things that I do want to stress before we move on from here is, you said 11 years that you've been working here.
I started in May of 2006. I just hit my 11-year mark of working with Universal Accounting.
I was insane. I was with Universal when Scott came on. I remember that.
And you'd probably been here for 5 or 6 years.
I'm now going on 17. I've passed 17. I'm going on my 18th year. This is ridiculous. So, and you know, I'm going to use that as my segue, because we wanted to briefly just talk about who we are and share a little bit about who I am. I don't know if anyone is aware of where this is, but this is in California.
Is that the Winchester?
It is the Winchester House. That's right. So this is my family, and we travel quite a bit. And I've been blessed with the opportunity, because of Universal Accounting, to travel and literally here in the United States and Canada attend a number of conferences. I'm going to Skelly New Heights, AccountX, I'm going to Sage conferences, whatever the conference may be. And where it's accounting oriented, I'm always running into graduates of ours. And I really am pleased to say that as I travel and as I run into various graduates, they always come up, and first of all, it's almost like, Mr. KNECKT, Roger, can I speak to you for a second? Because I'm usually in a conversation, maybe on the trade floor, or I've spoken, and they'll come up and want to speak. And one of the things that always astounds me, and it's humbling, is they're coming up and sharing with me their gratitude for the training that they received from Universal Accounting. And it goes back to what you shared earlier. It's where they got the confidence and the competence to literally go forward. And it's those two words that will commonly come up. So that's one of the things that's exciting. And the reason why I put this picture up is, in our travels, I usually take my family, and I've been fortunate enough to bring them along. And over the years, they've gone around the country and met many of you as graduates. And just to kind of share who they are, I'm in the background. I'm the bald one. So, you know, bald is beautiful. I love that. And this is my wife here in the center. That's Leslie. My daughter is the one at the forefront. She's the one smiling, holding the camera. Her name's Cassidy. I love where she is in her life. She's getting married here in a few days.
Wow.
So, you know, when I started with the company 17 years ago, she was a young little girl, just a few years old. Now she's about ready to start her own family, and I'm excited for her. Love my son-in-law. I think he's a great man. She's got a great find there. And then in the center next to my wife is my son, Robert. He's basically about ready to finish up high school. He's growing up. I can't say enough about him. He's growing into a nice young man. And then there to the right is my daughter, Sydney. She's in junior high. She's entering high school next year. And it's just amazing to see these young girls grow up, because in her case, she's actually a crew hand in the stage crew for the school theater, doing the lights and the audio. It's just amazing what we can each do when we get excited and passionate about things. And that's one of the things that she's excited about. So anyways, I love my family, but the way this correlates to Universal Accounting and what we're discussing today is the fact that in my travels, I've had the wonderful opportunity to sit down with individuals who have taken me to lunch, who I've taken to dinner, and as we've sat and discussed what it is they've done in their careers because of Universal Accounting, where they've either gotten the promotions, pay increases, or they've started practices, build their firms, it always comes back to, I think, that point that you shared at the beginning, the confidence and competence to be in business for themselves, but not by themselves. And we'll get to that later on. But share some thinking about your family. Say something about who you are, Scott.
Well, this picture is my family. And what's interesting is that back in May 2006, when I started, 3 of these people weren't alive, and another one of them wasn't even in the picture. It was just my oldest son and
Yes,
I.
yeah, it was the 2 of you. And we won't digress, but
that's what you can do in 11 years.
Yeah, so you've had a roommate that was with the 2 of you, and I know your roommate Rick. But
Yep.
The point is you started a whole new family.
Yeah, in 11 years, that's what you can do. I started with Universal Accounting, and I got in, and boy, I'll tell you what, I have just had the most lucky opportunities here with this company in getting to work with the students. And it's been something that's changed my life, being able to be a coach, because I started coaching in 2007 and working with the students and helping them with their marketing efforts. And in 2009, one of the vice presidents of the company, he went out and he hired a coach. He wanted to give the marketing coaches the opportunity to be on the other side of the table.
That's right. I remember this.
With the coaching. Now, I thought it was the most idiotic thing I'd ever heard. The coach that he had hired was a life coach.
It was Joe.
And I don't think I could have been more skeptical and more pessimistic, which is exactly why I needed to work with a life coach.
And again, to reiterate what you said, you were coaching people.
Correct.
You were offering coaching services to our students at the time, and we came in as a school to say you need to experience receiving coaching.
Correct.
And this was where that got introduced. Yeah.
This was where it got introduced. And the reason that I'm still coaching today, I mean, that was in 2009 when that happened. The reason that I'm still coaching today is because my eyes were opened to the importance of having that perspective. Having a coach that I was able to work with just in issues with my life completely changed my life, put me on a different track, saved my marriage, made my relationship stronger, taught my children things that have made them successful. My oldest son, who's standing in the middle there, that's Taylor. He just finished his first year of college up. And I don't think anybody could have had a more seamless experience at school than what he just got finished with. And it's because of the principles that I learned through the coaching that I received. Now, those same principles, I just had a coaching session with a student of ours up in Anchorage, Alaska yesterday.
Wow.
And I started to introduce those principles, and he lit up and he said, "You're the only person I've ever heard speak about that. And the fact that I get to utilize you as not just a marketing coach,
yes,
but to get that level of coaching as well in this guy, it's like I just told him that he won the lottery." It was, I wish I'd recorded the call. So I'm very passionate about the coaching because I know the importance firsthand. That's my wife, Jen. My youngest son is Stone right there in the front. My daughter, Tori, is 11 there. And then Aria is in my arms. She's 2 years old. So a little bit about me, a little bit about Roger, a little bit about who we are and why we're so passionate.
And I told Scott when we were getting ready to do the webinar, why should we add these slides? I mean, we've spent now a few minutes here talking about us, and I know you want to get into your business and why Forbes says what are the 3 reasons why this is the best business to be in. But I wanted you to share who you are, and I wanted to share a little bit of who I am because we're real people. We're passionate about what we're going to discuss here, and I feel that you're going to benefit from it. I feel that knowing who we are will add to this discussion. So forgive us for that. But Scott, we also have just a few testimonials that we wanted to share, only because of the fact that I think talk is cheap. We can get up here and rant and rave about all this all day long, but beyond pounding our chest about this, let's start with this isn't just all words. This is actions. This is literally materializing into things for people.
I absolutely love the online classes with Alan. He is by far the best instructor I've ever had in any kind of schooling. I love his style, his theory, and philosophy of how to teach and how to train. In order to learn the theory and the background, we used ledger books. He really taught the fundamentals of what you debit, what you credit, and why. Then there was a lot of practice sets that gave you hands-on experience. By learning it the old-fashioned way, it really sets you up to comprehend the accounting principles. Alan's classes were not about making you the best computer expert or software expert. It was about the fundamentals of accounting. That's what is so valuable about those classes. The other good selling point is you get a curriculum coach, a marketing coach, and then you get a coach that actually helps you once you get your first client. That has been invaluable for me to have those coaches that I can call an email to fill between the classroom and real world. I don't know of any place that does that kind of thing. It's just been great.
I got introduced to a master coach that was assigned to me. It took my practice to a whole new level, being able to convey what I know to a total stranger or to a client anytime I needed to.
The teacher brained things well. I had good access to my instructors. He taught us the old-fashioned way, which was helpful because I needed to really get a handle on debits and credits. They were very helpful and still are. Really, really grateful for that class.
Before I took this course, I worked in corporate for many years, but I needed to learn QuickBooks. I thought Alan was great on the DVDs. He's a CPA, and he just explained it beautifully. They also have marketing courses to help you find new clients. You can't maintain your business without clients, so marketing is a very necessary course to take.
You should work with UAC because they have great materials, great resources, great marketing, phenomenal coaching, help, and support after. It's well worth your time. The effort that you put into it will manifest back to you. Courtney, she's my academic coach. She seemed to call at the time when I was at a crossroads of, gosh, I'm not quite sure what I need. Where do I go next? Who do I ask for help? She was really great about that. Trevor helped me with QuickBooks and Adam with accounting questions. I appreciated so much that they take extra time and go the extra mile to resolve my questions. Scott McKinley has been my marketing coach, and he's just amazing. He's encouraged me, and every time I start thinking negatively, he helps me switch it so that it's positive. I'm running a successful business. I'm working on my first client and preparing for my second client, and just really excited about it.
So, Scott, obviously a lot of people hear all this and they wonder what's holding them back. I ask what's holding them back. So what do you run into as you're talking to people as to their excuses and why it is that they do what they do?
You know, every week I have the opportunity, I have the good fortune to be able to travel, and I get to go out across North America. Last week and I was up in Saskatoon, and I get the opportunity to sit down with business owners and potential business owners, people that have been thinking about doing it, and it all comes down to the F word. Every time I say, what's been stopping you from moving forward, no matter what the reason is, it's all connected back to fear. It's connected back to that subconscious fear that we're going to fail. It's a paradigm that's been beaten into us that we can't do it. You know, we're not that lucky. We're not successful enough to start our own business. What if I fail? What if I don't get clients? And those fears, they actually manifest. You know, because I say to those people, so by focusing on the fear of what happens if I don't make money, what if I can't get clients, I say, well, let's step back and let's look and see what's manifested. How many clients do you have? How much money are you making? So it's getting past the fear. It's finding solutions. You know, you said when you were introducing the school that Universal Accounting has created a turnkey solution. Mm-hmm. I really believe that is an accurate statement. Because when you become a student with Universal Accounting, you're inheriting an entire system for not only how to service the customers, but how to find the customers. And as we talk about here, the importance of retaining those customers and keeping them coming back month after month after month. So it's getting past the fear, it's stopping the excuses, and it's being willing to take the optimistic approach of, instead of what's the worst that can happen, but what happens if this does work? What happens if I am able to be successful in this? So get past the fear.
So with that in mind, you I think quote quite often Tony Robbins, a confused mind says
no.
So let's remove the confusion. Let's
Absolutely.
remove that ambiguity, and let's try and give them now what they're needing here. So what we've got is obviously the second oldest profession. It's accounting. It's been around forever. I mean, I don't know how many of us have used abacuses. I've not. I know what one is, but accounting's been around forever, and it will always be around. It's not going to go anywhere. And so one of the things that we have to recognize is, as you may hear out there, that the accounting profession is evolving currently because of the technologies and the different software programs. That's great, because in reality, what it's doing is it's making our jobs easier, but still the business owner gets into business because they're good at what they do, the product or service that they provide, and they need from us the interpretation of accounting. Accounting is the language of business, and no business owner is going to spend time after time learning accounting to run a business that they're wanting to run, where they're good at their product and service. What they need is an interpreter. They need someone like us, an accountant, to come in to help them understand what the business is communicating in the numbers so that they can make more intelligent business decisions.
The exciting thing about accounting today, because accounting hasn't changed, you know, debits are debits, credits are credits,
yes,
since 1498 when Frau Luca Pacioli discovered that system.
Yes.
So that has stayed consistent. But what's gotten exciting about accounting is the software, it's the tools, it's the information that can come. And people don't realize, when I say people, I'm speaking about small business owners. They don't realize that if accounting is done correctly, it'll pay for itself.
Yes.
With the tools that are available today, and with what we're going to be talking about during this webinar, we're not just talking about filing it, forgetting it once you've done the data entry. We're talking about using that information and making it an exciting process for the business owners to get involved with. Now, why is it the second oldest profession? Because there's a demand for it. In fact, as we're going to show you, there's more of a demand for this service than there are people to actually provide the service.
Yes, and what's happening is the demand is being, I think, driven by the business owners because they're recognizing through the advertisements of various software companies that accounting can be real-time. And so to not have available information that's maybe their financials from 3 months ago today, they're realizing that they're making either poor decisions or untimely decisions in their business, and they need to be more intelligent about what they're doing to be profitable. And so they're saying, how can I get that data more real time so that I can be more effective as a business owner making my business decisions? And that's where we come in.
Absolutely. I think another thing that has made this one of the oldest professions is that there's not a very big cost to start the business or to operate the business, to keep the business going.
Yeah, you don't need an inventory in your garage of things you're trying to turn as you're selling them.
Absolutely not.
This is a service business.
There's not really a cost of goods that's going to be involved with this. The marketing scale, we're talking about repeat clients. One of the programs that Universal Accounting uses is a program called Value Builder.
Yes.
And the Value Builder is a system that identifies areas in business that make it more valuable as an investor might look at the business.
Yes.
One of the things that they look at is how are you getting paid? How are you getting your clients? And the type of clients that accounting services brings are monthly repeat clients. If it's tax, it's a yearly thing. So this has got a really high marketing scale because we're talking about those monthly clients.
Yeah, it's not like you get a client and next month you're wondering whether or not they're going to need your services or use your services. This is a reoccurring client. And so one of the challenges you're going to have is retaining the client, and we'll talk about that. But the beauty of the business and why it is the second oldest profession is because once you get a client, they're going to stick around. You're going to service them. There's a lifetime value, and we're going to talk about that later on.
So high demand, low cost to start and operate, marketing scale, all of these make up the reasons that Forbes magazine says that in a down economy, the #1 business to own and operate is in the accounting services.
And in a growing economy, it's still the case only because of the fact that as businesses grow, they need to make sure that they're investing and properly using their funds. There's always going to be a need for accounting services.
That's what's awesome. It doesn't matter how good or bad the economy is doing. business owners are required by law to do their bookkeeping.
Exactly. Any government says, as a business, you have to account for what you've done in your business throughout the year so as to determine your tax liability. This is one of those professions that in being in business, you have to do.
Yeah.
You can't get around it. Sales tax, you've got payroll tax. I mean, name an employee that doesn't want to get paid. You've got to be paying the employees.
Right.
There's cash going into the business, receivables. Accounting is essential for a business to be in business.
So for those of you that are listening to this webinar today and you haven't started a business because you've been waiting for a little bit of a sign from the universe to push you in, here you go. This is it. Forbes is saying the demand will never be met. The opportunity is huge. The cost to start and run the business is low. And the possibility of return clients, which means you can be planning for the number of clients that you need, so you can be making what you have to be successful. And it's all based off of the fact that you've got these monthly return clients coming in. So stop thinking about it.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things to take away from this discussion is there demand? I think a lot of times the accountant, the bookkeeper, the tax preparer, they just wonder what kind of need exists out there. And until they can have a third party come in and validate what they're thinking, what they already know, they kind of second guess themselves. Do people really need bookkeeping services? Would people really pay for accounting services? And the answer is yes.
Well, we've already said this, but everybody needs an accountant.
Yes.
If you own a business, you have to do your books, you have to file your taxes, you need the accountant. Like we discussed, the economy doesn't matter, good or bad, they still have to have it. And there are more businesses that need accountants and bookkeepers than there are actual qualified accountants and bookkeepers that are out there.
And one of the things that's interesting, and we won't spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to point it out, it's that the accounting profession is going through a struggle right now only because there's a lot of people who are retiring, who are in their late 50s, early 60s, that are downsizing, getting rid of their clients. And the beauty of it is the people coming into the accounting profession are fewer than those exiting. And so we have a situation where businesses need a service where it's becoming less and less available. So therefore the demand is high and you're able to get in with a low barrier of entry and provide a service that people need. And so the businesses are available to be found. They're there. And so what you need to realize is that now is the perfect time to get out there and acquire these clients.
The whole workforce has changed in the last 25 years. Mm-hmm. There used to be a higher number of corporations, larger businesses, but what we've seen in the last 25 years is a big shift. Now, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, there's 27.6 million businesses that are registered in the United States. Those are just the businesses that are registered. There's thousands, millions of businesses that are out there today.
Yeah, so these are the knowns and there's still the unknowns.
Exactly. Operating without the business license. If you're one of our Canadian students that are listening in today, hello, there's 2.4 million businesses that are registered in Canada. So this is all of the businesses that are out there, but the problem is this includes all of the large number of corporations. It includes the ones that have accounting departments.
Yes.
You're not going to land those as your clients.
No.
What we want to do is we want to clearly identify what the opportunity looks like for you and showing you what the demand is.
And before you go on, you spoke of there becoming more and more of these small businesses. What happened is when the economy in the North America had that recession back in 2008-9, what happened is people lost their jobs. Many of them went into self-employment.
Correct.
And in the last 5 to 7 years, they've built their businesses and have continued to create a subset in the economy of more and more of these small businesses who need accounting services. So what is a small business? What does that constitute? How is that defined?
A small business is going to be anywhere from 1 to 15, 20 employees, anywhere making revenues from $200,000, $100,000 up to $5-10 million, depending on the industry, you know.
And one of the things that's important to realize is when you said, 1 to 5 to 15 employees, 20 employees, that is the small business. And the thing that to realize is they're typically so small, they don't have enough accounting transactions going on in the company to warrant employing anyone part-time or full-time to do the books because there's not that many transactions going on. So they usually will either consider having someone who's not an accountant, the receptionist, the spouse, or whomever do the books, But the other thing is it's the first thing as a service they recognize of all the things they're doing, they need professional help with. It's the first thing that they'll typically say, I need to have someone professional doing this and I'm willing to pay for it.
Yeah, Michael Gerber, who wrote the book, The E-Myth Revisited, he says most startups began by a technician having an entrepreneurial seizure. These are business owners that didn't start their business because they like to do accounting. They started their business because they like to do the technical side. They love the production. They're passionate about what they do. So that's the perfect opportunity for you, audience, listening in, to recognize these are people that need your help. So let's take a look at the opportunity. 97.6% of the businesses in the United States that are registered have fewer than 20 employees. That means there's 26.9 million registered businesses who all started their business not because they wanted to have an accounting department or because they understood accounting, but they started it because they were passionate. That's your market. That's who we teach. All of our curriculum that we focus on is centered around going and getting the 26.9 million businesses that have less than 20 employees. In Canada, Industry Canada reports that an average of 87% of the businesses registered have less than 20 employees. So up in Canada, that's 2.1 million. 50% of that Canadian number, they have 1 to 5 employees.
Yes.
That's your market. That's the demand. If you're thinking, can I start this business and will there be people out there who need me? The answer is
yes.
Abundance. Abundantly, yes.
And the thing that's, I think, important here to recognize is as an accountant, when you see a business storefront, you're able to see now with this number that literally 9 out of 10 businesses could benefit from your services, that they could really benefit from your going in and helping them more intelligently run their business. And so that's huge. And the other thing is if you're choosing to offer payroll services, every one of these businesses have payroll needs. If you're choosing to offer tax services, every one of these businesses have tax needs. Every one of these people that are employed there have tax needs. What are we talking about here? We're not talking about a business where 5% of the population could use your product or service. We're talking about a business where 9 out of 10 of the businesses and individuals can benefit from what it is you do.
And that's they're required. Huge. They're required to do it.
Yes.
They cut corners because they don't understand it. So if you can learn how to speak to those business owners, we know from personal experiences, you can get them as your clients.
Yes, it's saying the right thing to the right people at the right time in the right way. That's what it is.
So this is the right people.
Yes.
Right there. In Canada, 2.1 million. In the US, 26.9 million.
Exactly.
Now, you said at the beginning of this webinar that Tony Robbins quote that if you're confused, you say no. You don't understand what to be doing. The whole objective here is to be giving you some clarity and showing you how to get started. The next big issue that people have is, well, I don't know how to get my business up and running. What's the cost? I mean, what am I going to be out to get things going? Now, every week I teach this to the people that come to my seminars, how to get started for less than $100. First thing that you need to do, pick your business name. If you spend more than 30 minutes thinking about your business name, it's your last name, bookkeeping, and tax services.
Yeah.
Your initials, whatever it is. So you get your business name, great. Next thing you need to do, you need to order some business cards. Where do you get business cards from these days? Everybody knows the answers to this, right? It's Vistaprint. At Vistaprint, it's $9.99 for 500 business cards. Of course, you're going to need more cards, but those 500 cards are going to get you started. What I read a while back, and it's something that I teach my children, my family, my students that I work with, is that wise people get other people to pay for what they want. So getting started, recognize you're going to get the basic cards. They're going to be $9.99. Keep them simple. Later on down the line, when you've got clients coming in, they'll pay for the other things that you might want to get. If you want a glossy card later on down the line, keep it simple. The next thing that you're going to need is you're going to need to do some marketing. Now, in the program that Universal Accounting teaches, in our bookkeeping course, in our tax course, and our marketing course, we have marketing components that we give to our students because we know without them, there's that confusion and we can't guarantee success. So what we do is we teach the students what we've found to be beneficial as to the strategies to start with. This is the first strategy we teach everybody. You send out a letter to your friends and family announcing your business. Why do we send it to our friends and family, Roger?
Because once you've done that, you've declared what you've done and there's no turning back.
And
they are the ones that know other people that will refer individuals to you. There's 2 reasons for it.
There are 2 reasons. That's it. You're declaring it. You're putting your focus into it. You're using the law of attraction, and you're getting that message out there, and you're telling the people who trust you and they know you and they like you. And like Roger said, they know other people. You will get your first new client from this friends and family letter that you send out. What does it cost to send out a friends and family letter? You're going to throw some business cards in there?
I need to say something.
Oh, go for it.
Okay. Friends and family. One of the big things that I find when I was doing the coaching is some of the people would say, well, I don't know if I want to send it out to them because I don't know that I'll get clients.
Yeah.
First of all, you have to recognize that this is a people business, and it's not what you know. It's not that you're the best accountant, bookkeeper, tax preparer that enables you to get the clients. You can be the best one and poor. What it is it's who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And so leveraging these people who are your friends and family, who love you, who, like you were saying, Scott, will put you up on a pedestal and speak highly of you.
Right.
They know business owners. They are customers of businesses. And when they know of people that are needing services, you don't know who they know.
Right.
And so the point is now putting it out there, they're going to refer you to individuals. And it's astonishing how often when we put this point out there, people will do it and get 1 or 2 clients. And it's just gratifying. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know they were there. But there's that second point that I was mentioning. The reason why you send this out as a friend and family letter is also because of the fact that now you have declared what you're doing. You've declared to the universe. Your friends and family know, and they're going to hold you accountable for this. The next time you get together with your friends, they're going to say, how's it going? Well, the last thing you want to do is have your tail between your legs, not be able to say you've done anything. You're going to say, crap, everybody knows I've got to hustle now. And it puts you into a position, a mindset where at 2 a.m, guess what you're thinking about? Starting, building, growing, taking care of your clients. It's not, well, nobody knows, and so I'm in a vacuum and I don't have to worry about it today. No, everybody knows, and you're going to hustle. And that's because of all of those things. That's why your business will work.
Right. Like I said, when I teach this principle at my class across North America, 9 out of 10 times when I do a survey in the room and I ask those people that are attending, where did you get your first client from? Where did you get your first client from? 9 out of 10 times they say the same thing. It was a referral. I got a referral from a family member. I got a referral from a friend. So if we know that 90% of the people that are getting clients are getting them with this way, then get it done. Send this letter out. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Don't go cold calling. This industry is built around trust and relationships. So leverage those relationships that you have. This isn't a multi-level marketing thing. A lot of people get reluctant about that because they think, well, I don't want to pressure you're not pressuring anybody.
You're announcing.
You're saying, hey, I need your help. I need you to tell people about me. That's all I need you to do. You're not going to shake them down at the 4th of July barbecue and say, where are my clients? You're just saying, hey, I need your help. Can you tell people? So put your business cards in the letter. In the letter, bribe them. Bribe your family. Say, if you send me a referral that becomes a paid client, I'll send you a gift certificate to go to dinner somewhere. It works. People love referrals. People love referral bonuses, I mean. So get that out there. It'll cost $40 to send a letter like this out. Send it to the people that know you and like you and trust you. The next expense that you need is a website. You need a website because you need that presence. You need to be able to connect your email address to your domain name. And at Vistaprint, you can get a website for $18 a month.
Yep. And it's not the website that matters.
No.
What it is the credibility in the sense that people, when they hear that you're in business, will ask, what's your website?
Right.
And if you say, I don't have one, it sounds like you're just dipping your toe in the water. You're going to give this a try. You're not that committed. But when you say you've got a website, they say it's official, it's legit, you're committed, you're going to be around a while. The website itself, it doesn't matter how good or bad it is.
No.
It's the fact you have a website that matters most.
They're going to go on it. They're going to click on it. They're going to check you out. They're going to see that you're legit. You're going to have a home screen where you say, hey, this is who we are. You write up a brief little introduction about the benefits of your services. Then you have a tab that's about the services that you offer. You have a tab that says about us, who we are. And then you have a testimonial tab. That's it. It's simple. You don't have to have fancy graphics on it and high quality videos on it.
Yeah, this isn't a robust site that you're needing. So don't worry
Many
about
people are not going to go look at your accounting website. It's just to check your credibility.
Yes.
So $18 at Vistaprint, they're great. It'll match your business card.
Yep.
Do it. The last thing that you need is to get QuickBooks. Even up in Canada, I say QuickBooks has the market share even over Simply Accounting. Simply is written for accountants. QuickBooks is written for business owners. Intuit markets to business owners. If you've seen their commercials, hey, if you can write a check, you can use QuickBooks. Business owners see that and they go, that's the solution. We go get it. And then they proceed to destroy their books at the speed of light because they don't know the difference between a debit and a credit. They do it thinking that they're saving money. So that's why you need QuickBooks, because you can leverage the QuickBooks name.
Yeah, so there's a number of people out there that may say they like FreshBooks, they like Xero, they like Sage. There's a variety of softwares out there now, and they're all competing for the market, but still QuickBooks has the largest share of the market. And the thing that you want to realize is perhaps more than anything, Intuit is probably your best advertising agency, because what they're doing is they're telling the small business owner that this is the way they should be in business, is using QuickBooks. They go get it, and like you said, Scott, they destroy their books. They don't make sense. It says that they made or lost $1 million last month. They know that's not true. So who do they need? They reach out to, and they're willing to pay you for your services. So even if you prefer any of the other softwares out there and maybe even use them, you still also should be a QuickBooks specialist, somebody that knows QuickBooks.
Exactly. Makes you the expert. Okay, QuickBooks. What is QuickBooks Online going to cost you? It's $30 a month. That is why we say you can start your practice for under $100.
That's right.
How many professional industries can start their practice for under $100? Not many. That's the beauty of accounting. Now, there's one more thing that makes this the low cost to operate and run the business, and that's the fact that you don't need to go out and lease an expensive office. Most of the people that I work with, now there are some that have an office for tax purposes during tax season, but you don't have to have an expensive office if you're going to do bookkeeping. Pass those savings on to your clients. If you need an office, then look into renting a virtual office. Virtual offices are usually right around $100 a month. They provide you with a certain number of hours that you can use the conference room. They've got smaller offices that you can use if you need to do some consulting. So I say to look into that, because you might have a client that has a home-based office as well, so you need to have a neutral meeting place.
Exactly.
You don't want them to come and meet in your kitchen. You don't want to go meet in their kitchen. So if you can have that virtual office. But believe it or not, I have a lot of clients, and they meet at the library or they meet at the coffee shop with their clients. They like being out.
But here's the thing that I want to stress with this. The beauty of this business is oftentimes you go to the client to meet at their company, at their office, and
Right.
meeting there. And so to incur the expense of having an office space, it's sometimes unnecessary. Now, some people do get an office only because they feel working at home is not effective. They're distracted. Great, go get the office. But as you were describing, the virtual office, an executive suite, a workspace, they're very inexpensive, where you can go and for so many hours a month be in a professional environment. It's perfect. And so you're right. This is something that is affordable to go do and still maintain the professionalism that I'm thinking you want.
A lot of people, the fear is, well, what if my client questions why I don't have my own office? Does that make me look unprofessional? My response to that is, you know what? I'd love to go. I'll go get an office, but guess who's going to pay for it?
Yep.
You're going to be paying for it, because I'm going to have to raise my prices. And that's when they go, oh, well, a lot of people work from home, and they move right past it. So don't let that fear, again, there's the fear, don't let that stop you. Focus on the positive. The positive is that you get to make your services less expensive because you pass that savings on to your clients with the fact that you work from home. Lastly, if you're dedicating one room in your home specifically dedicated to your office, you now get to save money on your taxes because you get those write-off benefits.
Right.
You get to save money on your expenses, the things that you're already paying for your home. So there we go. We're talking about the demand. We've established the fact that there's a high demand. We have now talked about the low cost to operate and to start the business, to run the business. Now, the last thing that Forbes magazine was saying was the marketing scale.
Yes.
Because of return clients. So,
and again, this is why it's the #1 business. Yes.
So why How do we get those repeat clients coming back with those monthly billings?
Well, one of the things that I think we want to stress here is the fact that accounting, when done right, is not a yearly experience.
No.
It's not a yearly event. A business done properly should at least have their accounting on a monthly basis. They should be looking at the financial numbers that they're needing to use to make better business decisions. Now, and this isn't the class for this, but they also need to be having key performance indicators that they're watching about their business, and these numbers are easily provided by the accountant. So these businesses should be meeting with you on a regular basis. I say monthly, at least quarterly, because you're an asset to their being effective and profitable.
Right. One of the students that comes to my mind who really struggled at the beginning was a CPA, and he struggled once he had gotten in and cleaned up the books and gotten the books set up. He struggled in knowing how to keep these these clients coming back on a monthly basis. And it was because CPA training doesn't focus on small businesses, it focuses on corporations. Like most people, he had worked for years in the industry and got pigeonholed and had forgotten what needed to be done on a monthly basis that would give him the opportunity to have it be a return monthly client instead of it being just a semi-annual or even an annual type of a thing. So having, again, that program to inherit and to learn from the experts in this industry about what to do on a monthly basis that would allow you to bill your clients based on the number of monthly transactions. Now, if you're billing your client based on the number of monthly transactions, it's easier for them because they can be budgeting for what their accounting is going to cost. Has anybody out there ever worked with somebody that pays or charges an hourly rate, like an attorney? Man, it's awful.
Yes.
You never want to speak to your attorney. Every time you do, you cringe when you go to the mail and you open up and you see what your bill is. It's different every month. Well, guess what? Business owners have the same type of feelings towards accountants and CPAs because every month it's a different billing.
See, the difference here is what we're talking about is called value-based pricing.
Correct.
We've got to basically say to them, it's not the time that they're paying for, it's beyond that. And so what they need to see is that what they're paying for is more than just your time. It's your expertise. And for that reason, they're going to be willing to pay you more. But if you can make that fee the same every single month, it takes the guesswork out of what am I doing? What am I going to pay? What's it going to cost? And then what they're willing to do is then pay you because they're moving on to other things. You're a reoccurring billing. You're the same every month. They've got other things to now worry about.
And the beauty of this that a lot of people just forget about is, look, if you're charging an hourly rate, when you get your new client, the first couple months, it's going to be good because there's going to be the setup work and it's going to be the time to figure out their business. But as you get better at doing their books and you become more efficient, you make less money because you're getting it done faster. So you're not billing them as much.
When you're charging hourly.
When you're charging hourly.
That's right.
But if you're billing them a flat monthly fee based on the number of transactions, you get actually an incentive as you become more efficient with their books.
Because now you're making more and more per hour.
Exactly.
It takes less time to do it. Yes.
Exactly. The thing that I really like the most about this is that it encourages the communication between the business owner and you. And that is what makes accounting exciting. I know you like to use the phrase that we want it to be sexy. That communication is important because the language that they don't understand, we do. And when we can identify those KPIs and we can quantitatively and qualitatively start working with them and making their business grow and become more profitable, guess what? You're going to make more money because they're going to love you and they're going to tell people about you. And that is going to work out for both parties. That is what we call a good deal. And that's why Forbes is saying, look, this is the thing that makes this business valuable is the repeat clients. You've got to be able to keep those clients coming back month after month.
Well, I think two things. The earning potential, you're in bookkeeping able to make at least 40 to 80 an hour. With tax, you're able to charge over $100 an hour. And when you're doing consultative services, whether it be Profit First, Value Builder, whatever those may be, you're into now at least $100 to $150 per hour for those type of consultative services. So what are you trying to do here? Forbes is saying, look, this is the top business to be in because of the earning potential and because of the demand and because of the low startup costs. These are all things that enable you to be in business for yourself and do so profitably.
So why is right now the best time to start marketing those bookkeeping, accounting, small business clients out there?
Well, I'm going to start. You're looking at me as if I need to say something.
I mean, if you want to say it, you can say it. I'll say it.
I'm happy to say it. The first thing that you want to recognize is that business owners out there are becoming more and more concerned with their ROI. They need to recognize what is it that's making them money in their businesses and where to allocate their funds in order to grow their practices. Right now, the economy is growing at a certain pace that the business owners are recognizing they need to be making more intelligent business decisions. If you talk to a business owner and they're confused, they're not getting the accounting in a timely way, they are perfect candidates for what we're doing here. And so the first reason why now is the right time to do this is, first of all, because I'm going to say taxes. With tax returns, what you're going to be finding is as tax season comes, people are worried about what can I do to, in the accounting, benefit from the tax advantages that I have. And you don't want to end the tax season without having employed those tax benefit strategies. But after tax season, there are things that you missed out on that you could have been doing and you didn't do that you need to now implement in your business to benefit from tax-wise. There's a strategy there that you need to be implementing. So that's always a good reason why now is the right time to get into offering these services.
Well, they're feeling the pain. With the tax season having just ended, they're looking at what they just paid to the government for their liability.
Yeah, it's an expense they've literally just paid.
And so it's existing still. It's still fresh in their mind. And by simply knowing how to go out there and ask the question to a business owner, did you pay more than you wanted to last year in taxes? Are you getting raked over the coals when it comes to your taxes? Do you want to keep doing that?
Was your tax experience a surprise? Because it shouldn't have been a surprise. It should have been planned out and prepared for, not I'm wondering what's going to happen this year.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yep.
A lot of the business owners that I've spoken with, they don't really understand the whole benefit of tax planning. They just think taking everything at the end of the year, they're doing their taxes, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And ironically enough, they call that accounting, and it's not.
Yes.
So by exposing that pain and letting them know that we can help them, we can make a difference, but they've got to be willing to try something new, and that positions us perfectly.
The way, oftentimes the savings that you can get in the taxes between last year and the coming year oftentimes more than justify them paying you for your services, because you're going to come out as being less. So that's a big savings, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So here are the things that we felt most people come to us with their challenges that they're facing, the problems that they have. Number one, at this class that I teach every Saturday morning, the biggest thing that I hear is they struggle at finding potential clients.
Yeah, once they recognize they want to do this and that there is a demand and they can see that this can easily be done, there's still that question of, well, then how do I go out there and find the clients?
After the discussion about finding clients is taken care of, the next fear comes up, and that second fear is, well, once I find the client, what the heck do I say? Like, how do I close this client? What presentation do I give? Can I go online? Can I Google something?
Yeah, why are they going to pay me to do this service?
So once you've put the energy out there into getting the clients and to making the presentation and having that client, the next challenge, and this is one that's very common, is keeping that client coming back each month.
You've gone through all this effort to get the client. You just did their books. You cleaned up their back work. You just gave them a financial. You're helping them see whether or not they're making money. You gave them their P&L. So you've done that, and you've done it maybe once or twice. Well, how do you now build a relationship with them that you've retained them as a client, that they're going to be there not months, but years with you?
Years, you say years. Just so you know, the lifetime value of a client, according to the AICPA, 6 years is the average. So that means if you've got a small business owner that's paying you the average monthly billings between $400 to $500, and you've got that client for 6 years, that means that client is worth $36,000. Each client that you get is worth up to $36,000.
Yes, that one client in those 6 years is paying for your car, they're paying for your kid's college education, they're paying for your kid to play their sports. I don't care what the use of that money is, but the point is they're actually going to be paying very good for the services. And just to be clear, that's if they're just paying the $400 or $500 for bookkeeping services.
Right. That doesn't include taxes.
If you're adding in payroll services, if you're doing consultative services such as around Profit First or value building, there are so many other things that you can do to bring that monthly fee up and even further embed yourself with the client in offering more valued services.
Because there are so many new and exciting things in the accounting industry that I'm glad you pointed that out. This doesn't even include that.
Those services, that's right. And here's the other thing. That's far less expensive than hiring somebody part-time or full-time to do this.
Right.
They're better off hiring you to take care of not just these bookkeeping needs, but providing your consultative services than hiring someone internally. And then they don't get the drama. They don't have to pay the workman's comp. They don't have to pay the unemployment insurance. There's all of these things that they don't have to worry about as expenses and the drama again, because you're taking care of it and you're the expert. They got the best.
I just had a coaching session yesterday with one of my newer students who's getting out there, and she's discovering that business owners want more. They want more consulting. And she said, what do I do? And I said, don't worry. We've got the tools available to you. When you enrolled with Universal Accounting, you inherited those tools. And we spent 45 minutes on the phone just discussing how she can make herself that consultant and be that, that anchor for the business. And once she's connected and she's earned their trust, that $36,000 that's hers.
Yeah, and it'll be more than that because she'll be charging more than the $400 or $500. And the thing is it comes back to what you were sharing at the very beginning. Again, it's confidence and competence. She's becoming aware of what more she can do, and she's going to get that skill, the competence to do it. And now with that skill, she has the competence to look the business owner in the eye and say, I can do this for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how can Universal Accounting, who's been doing this since 1979, how can we help?
Well, first and foremost, I think we need to point out that you're able to do this in a way that allows you to be in business, not for yourself.
Not by yourself.
Or not by yourself, but for yourself, and have universal help. And so what we do is we really help with, first of all, marketing, where to find the clients, what techniques actually work to find the clients you're looking for, that you want to specialize in, that you want to service, the ones that will pay you for what you do, the ones that will pay you the most for what you do. What are those industries? We know what those are, and there's 11 specific ones that we really focus on that we find a lot of people, as they're starting and building their practices, get clients in, and those are the ones that we want to specialize in.
I can't stress this enough when it comes to marketing, that the key to marketing is working multiple compounding factors, having a variety of different strategies that work. Now, it's not going to be the same for everybody, but you're going to usually hone in on 2 to 3 different strategies that are proven for you. And that's why we teach in our bookkeeping course 12 different strategies.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that you need to hear is what Scott just said. It's unique to each person.
Correct.
One of the people that you yourself might have a strength in one area. Maybe it's background or experience in a certain industry, where another person that we're going to speak to next doesn't have that background and experience. So what you're going to leverage as your tools to market your services are going to vary. The 3 or 4 things that you're going to specialize in as you're marketing your practice will be unique to your firm, where the next person we may be working with as we're coaching and helping someone, they're going to focus on 3 or 4 that are unique to them.
Just like you have to have a strategy for being able to do the books and service the clients, you've got to have a strategy for marketing. Hope is not an effective strategy.
No.
You've got to have it written down, proven methods. The next thing is we help people learn how to close.
Yeah. How do you ask for the sale? How do you get the sale? How do you comfortably, naturally get a person to give you their credit card to pay for your services?
And I think one of the big things that we've kind of focused on is identifying what makes you unique in the accounting industry. Because business owners, especially the younger business owners that are out there, they're tech savvy. They want to have somebody that they're working with that gets it and understands technology. And so by having tools and resources that Universal Accounting can provide to you, some of the programs that we offer, that give you that ability to speak their language in an exciting way is going to make you more effective at closing.
Exactly. So one of the things that goes back to marketing and is part of closing is, are you offering bookkeeping services? Are you offering tax services? Are you going to be a consultant helping them with profit first? Are you going to be a value builder provider? Are you going to be a QuickBooks specialist? These are unique to each and every individual as to what their firm is going to provide as a service. And so one of the things that we do at Universal Accounting is, as we make this an easy process to implement, it's customized to you. It's unique to you, allowing you to become the premier accounting service in your market.
When you can sit down with a business owner and you're not just talking about debits and credits, but you're talking about an exit strategy for them, building their business into a valuable business that's going to get the highest return on their investment when they go to retire or sell their business or pass it on as a legacy, that's when you're speaking something different that most bookkeepers and accountants and CPAs today aren't going out there and speaking about.
Yeah, when you talk about putting profit first, it's not this last thing that you're looking at the bottom of the P&L. What did we make? Did we make money this last month or this year? When you put profit first and you ensure that you're doing it, these are the strategies that business owners want to hear about, and they want to know you can help them with.
Right. Lastly, it's retention.
Yep. Building
the biggest challenge that I've seen people have is not knowing how to keep those clients coming back. We can help with that.
There are specific things that you can do to help the business owner see your services as the ones they need at each and every month, that they can't do without, that it's because of your help they're able to run the business as efficiently and profitably as they do.
So, being in business for yourself, not by yourself, is one of the big advantages to hiring coaches, to having people that, look, we understand this. I mean, together combined, we've got close to 30 years, Roger and I. Mm-hmm. The other coaches that we have, we add that to the mix. We've got the experience and the expertise in knowing how to capitalize on all of the things that Forbes magazine is saying are what add up to making this the #1 business to own and operate.
One of the things I want to stress is the thing that makes, I think, Universal Accounting so unique is not just the programs we offer and the certifications we provide, but it literally is the coaching that you receive. You can, for a year, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, have direct contact to specific individuals that are experts in those parts of the business that you want. And like Scott said, these people are practicing what they preach. So these people are out there marketing and getting clients. They're taking care of businesses. Scott is a phenomenal coach that can enable you to put to practice what it is you're trying to do, so that it's not just a dream, it's not just a thought, but it's a reality. So definitely don't think that we're going to just say, okay, here's how to fish. We're going to teach you how to fish, and we're going to hold your hand. We're going to go out into the river with you, in the sense that we're going to role play and talk through things. We're here to ensure that you're able to do this successfully.
We'll teach you which pond to go to, what waders to wear, what type of line to use, what type of day is the best time. We get it. We understand. The cool thing about the coaches at Universal Accounting is that each of them are implementing the same things that we teach on a daily basis.
That's right.
I market a practice for myself. One of our other marketing coaches markets for an accounting practice out in Wilmington, North Carolina. Our academic coaches, they're all using the same things, the tools that they're passing on to you.
They have clients.
They have their own practices. So you're not getting a bunch of coaches that are reading a textbook going, oh, well, it says here to say this. You're getting coaches that are doing the exact same thing on a daily basis, and we're testing new strategies, and we're passing that knowledge on to you, the students.
That's right. So let's look at what we've learned here today. The purpose of this discussion was to obviously see what kind of demand is out there, why Forbes says that this is the best of the best, the low startup cost, the reoccurring revenue, the good pay for this. So I hope that you've actually taken away what it is that we wanted you to understand, which is why this is literally the best of the best businesses out there in order to operate. And so why do businesses need your services? Because they need more current, accurate information to make better business decisions, to run their businesses profitably. They also are needing this today. So what we want to know is, who are those people? And we talked about these small businesses with fewer than 20 employees. That is the demand out there. These are the small companies. And the other thing that's really, I think, key to this is you're able to do it all for less than $100 to get started. That's huge. And Scott, you're sharing that, I think really, I feel would have resonated with everyone listening here today. The other thing that we want to point out is that with this, you're able to actually see that there are 3 things your clients need from you. They need to know when you're working with them that as you're out there marketing, you're going to not only have to sell them on what you do, you're going to have to close them on it and then retain them. So those are the things that you need to focus on. Is you need to remember that when you're putting forth all that effort to get them, you want to close them and retain them. Okay?
$36,000 is the lifetime value for bookkeeping.
Right. Yeah, so it's the marketing, the closing, and the retaining is the key there. And then what is the client really worth? That $36,000 minimum that he described. And then lastly, with Universal Accounting, we're not just teaching you some system and saying go implement it. We're literally, as coaches, working with you for as many as 12, 18, 24 months to help you implement correctly those things that we know work, because we as coaches are literally applying them in our own practices, and that's what's powerful. Having Scott here today, I think, is just a treat. I love speaking with Scott. It's always a great conversation, and I hope you've benefited from this. So what do you do now? What's next?
Call to action. What we want to do is I'd love to talk with you. Take advantage of a free consultation. I've got a calendar set up on Calendly, and there is going to be a link at the bottom of the screen. You can click it. It says schedule a call now. So I've got openings available throughout the week that you can call or set up a time with. What I'd like to know during that conversation is A, who you are, B, where are you at with your business? Are you at the beginning stage? Are you in the middle? Are you looking to grow? Or have you gotten to the point where you know you can keep going, but you've kind of stalled out in the efforts? If that's you, we've got solutions. We've got plenty of different options that we can sit down and discuss with you. But more importantly, one of the things that I believe as a coach is that to begin with, you've got to know what you're aiming for. So where do you see your business? Where do you see your practice? If you can answer these questions, then we can have a good discussion. Give me the opportunity to give you 30 minutes of my time and figure out what we can do to help make this a seamless process, because it really can be a seamless process if you follow a proven turnkey solution like Universal Accounting.
So this is huge. I don't know if you can recognize the importance of this, but I'd like to just kind of outline it. So at the bottom of the page, there's a place where you can click on a button that says schedule a call now, and this is with Scott. And the value of it is simply this. Scott, for Universal Accounting, as he shared, is for more than 11 years now worked with our graduates, our students, to help them implement in their businesses those things they need to in order to be successful. Here is your chance. With Scott's busy schedule, he's got his own clients that he takes care of. He travels, as he mentioned, nearly every single week for Universal Accounting around the United States and Canada. And with that busy schedule, he has set aside some time here to take and do a one-on-one call with you. And why is this important? In this presentation, notice we didn't say the same thing for everyone, because if you're a CPA, an EA, you're different than someone that's perhaps got 5 years experience in accounting. If you're someone that has 1 or 2 or 3 clients, you're different than someone that has 15 or 20 clients. Whatever your circumstance, whatever your situation, Scott is prepared to listen to you, who you are, what your background is, what market are you in. He shared with you earlier that he was talking to someone in Anchorage, Alaska. So regardless of where you are, what your situation is, what your background is, what we want to know is, Scott, where can you help these people make 2017, 2018, 2019 the best year that it can be? What can make it so that today is a turning point in your life so that you can actually have the practice that you want, the clients you want, and you're getting paid what you deserve?
You know what? It's May. We got to get started. If you want to make 2017 the best year, then you've got to set an appointment with me, and we've got to have that discussion. From personal experience, I've worked with a student who came to us and was broken and defeated and felt disempowered. But by following our program from May until November, got his practice to $72,000 in billings. It's May 9th. We got work to do. It starts by you taking action and calling up or scheduling a call to sit down. And if you want to accomplish something that you've never accomplished before, you've got to be willing to do something you've never done. Look, I get it. I was skeptical about coaches as well. If you're thinking this might not be for me, give yourself the opportunity to spend 30 minutes working with a coach to see what we can do for you.
Here's the thing. Anyone that's successful has a coach. When an athlete, a successful person, recognizes that they, in order to achieve more than they have, need to have someone outside of themselves looking in, that's when they finally realize their greatest potential. And one of the things that I want you to realize with Scott is he's here to champion you. If you've got that negative energy around you, where you've got naysayers or people that are holding you back, now's the time to schedule this call at the bottom of the page with Scott so that you can speak with someone that will be in your corner, who will help you, that will support you, that will actually help you see your brightest potential. And that's one of the things that I think Scott does, is he really taps into not just the business side of this, but he can really help you manifest your best self. So take advantage of this opportunity. Speak with Scott one-on-one about you, your circumstances, your situations, and your goals. How do we make now the best time for you? So at the bottom of the page, go ahead and take advantage of that. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Scott, every time we get together, there's an energy, there's a passion, and I hope the people can sense it. We've been doing this together for years. It's not going to end. We have too much fun with this. But the point is we're here to help everyone that's listening today.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to speaking with you. So take advantage of it.
Yep. Everyone have a great day. Thanks for listening in. And remember this, accounting success is universal. Take care.
Bye-bye.